Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the notes on solving polynomial equations using technology. Okay. At the end of this, you should be able to say, I can solve polynomials of various degrees using technology. Okay, so first things first, polynomial equations. We've got first degree, which is called linear, and that's like y equals mx plus b, just a nice straight line. Second degree is quadratic, that's where you've got a square. Third degree is cubic, that's where your highest power is a cube. And then fourth degree is called a quartic, and that's when the highest power is 4. Okay, and these can go on forever and ever. Excuse me, the degree is simply the highest power of x in a polynomial function. Okay, so if a polynomial has degree n, then it can have up to n real solutions. So like this one here, it's first degree. This is only going to have one solution. This quadratic here could have up to 2 solutions, 2 real solutions. This one could have 3 real solutions. This could have 4 real solutions. Okay? All right, let's take a look at an example. Here we go. Okay, so use technology to solve. We have 4x squared plus 7x equals 9. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to call up our TI-84 here. And there's actually a way that we can solve it right on this calculator here. Okay, so what it's really going to do is it's just going to do the quadratic formula for us, so we don't have to go through and do all that. So that's really all this is. So what you want to do is you want to push apps for applications, and you want to go to plysmlt2. Okay, so that's the polynomial simultaneous 2 is what that stands for. So we're going to push enter here, and it's going to give us several options. We just want to choose the first thing here, polynomial root finder, because the roots are all of our solutions here. So we're going to push enter, and then now they're saying order. So basically this order here is what power it is. So since it's second power, our highest power here is 2. This is the second order. And look, it can do all the way up to 10. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, we want to check out the real solutions. It's going to automatically, basically, you just want all these to be highlighted over here. And since this is the applications interpretations, we're always going to be in degrees. So you never have to worry about moving that over to radians, so far as I know. That might change later on, but anyway, so this is, we want our calculator. This is the only thing we probably will ever be needing to change for now, is just the order. So anyway, we've got all this here, and so now that's all set up. We want to push next, and then it gives us this thing here. And basically what we want to do is we're going to enter in all of our numbers. But notice here, this is important. It's got to be set equal to 0. Right now ours is set equal to 9, so what we have to do is we have to go over here and we have to subtract 9 from both sides. Right, so we have 4x squared plus 7x minus 9 equals 0. Okay, so you always want to write it in order of power. So the highest power goes first, then the next highest power, and then all the way down to the constant. Okay, so now that we have that, let's pull our calculator back up, and we want our x squared value to be 4. So we're just going to, it's already highlighted in there, so we're going to push 4. We push enter, and it should switch that. Now it's going to ask us here, plus, or do you want to add or do you want to subtract? The next one here says add, so let's do, we'll push plus. Okay, and then you got to push enter after every one. And then now the next number we want in here is 7. So we already have a 7. We'll just push it again, make sure that we're good. And then this last one, we are wanting to subtract 9. So we'll push subtract here and push enter. And that'll turn into a negative, and then we can push 9. If you happen to have left this as plus, we could have just, you could add negative 9 as well. But since we did this, we already put the subtraction in there, we're going to put 9 in there. And then make sure that this looks like what we have there, and it does. And then over here, if you look, it says solve. So we push solve, and it gives us our 2 possible solutions. So 0.861, so forth and so on, and negative 2.6115. So let's go. So we get the x equals 0.86 or negative 2 point, I forgot already, 2.61. So those are going to be our two solutions, and that's how we do it on the calculator. Okay, let's take a little quick comedy break before we tackle this last one.
We just moved. I called UPS to ask them to help out with some boxes. And they're a good service, but you have to have information ready about your boxes before you even call them. I had no idea. I called them up. Yeah, I have 10 boxes. If you come pick them up. We need to know the weight and the girth. Okay, goodbye. So I called back. We need the weight and the girth. Okay, I don't know what the weight is, and I don't know what girth means. So now what's the procedure? So this guy talks to me like I'm 4 years old. Well, do you have a bathroom scale? Yeah, but if I put the box on the scale, it's going to cover up the numbers. What, do I take them off really quick? 0, I'm not fast enough.
Okay. Last one here. We're going to do this one as well. And again, we're going to put it in the calculator here. So first thing, remember, we got to move everything to one side. So let's subtract 7x squared and add 24. So 7x squared and add 24. So we get in order of the highest power first, 2x cubed. Then we have minus 7x squared, and then minus 10x, and plus 24, all equals 0. And that's the key, that it equals 0. Okay, so let's go back to, I would imagine main is going to be what we want. Okay, so we're going to go to polynomial root finder. Oops, let's see, there we go. 1, and then now our highest power is 3, so we're going to go over to order 3, and that should be the only thing we're going to need to change in here. I'm going to go to next, and then now look, it's got cubes, squares, x's, and constants. So first one is going to be 2, enter, and then we want to subtract 7, so we'll push negative, enter, and then 7. Then we're going to subtract 10, so subtract, enter, and 10, enter. And then we're going to add, so plus, enter, and then 24, enter. Okay, make sure that everything looks right. And then we're going to just hit solve, and it's going to tell us what we get. And there's 3 different possible answers, 4, -2, and 1.5. Those would be the 3 possible answers that would work for this. Okay, so we got x equals 4, -2, or 1.5. Those are our 3 answers. Okay, now sometimes you'll go through here and you'll enter all your numbers, and it'll give you some answer up here saying about no solutions. That means that there's like no real solutions. That means that that all the intercepts, the x-intercepts, because that's really what we're finding here, the x-intercepts here are all, there aren't going to be any x-intercepts. So the graph's going to be all up above or down below the x-axis. Okay, so once in a while that might happen. I'll show you what that would look like. Okay, so I found one that doesn't have any real roots. So you put your info in here and you go to solve. And it'll give you this, no real roots found. So that means there's no spots that cross the x-axis. Okay? All right, that's how you do all this here using solving polynomial equations using technology. Okay? If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.